mic is still on mute. Well, it's okay. Hi guys. I don't know. I guess I gotta kill time to. Ooh, my back is so itchy. Ah! Oh! No! My back is. I gotta roll over and get it, huh? Wish you would. Freaking cat almost ate the freaking Mike and I just dropped on the floor, bro. You know what I mean? Daddy almost ate the Mike and I dropped on the floor. I'm like, I mean, his mouth was right over it too. I was like, what? Had the mama get back in the You didn't have to us every turn. Love that for you, but you didn't have to. Hi, chat. Today is another day, another sleigh. We're continuing our playthrough of, what? You stretching? I'm making a new Tron movie, guys. Did you guys know? Oh, whoa. Ads is finna kick in.
Hello, how are you, Beast Magnet 1?
Okay. What's on next month? You ain't gotta say hi to Panda. I'm actually finna get rid of him. Because I don't like him that much no more. He pisses me off.
He needs his last haul.
He's finna eat his last haul. Okay. See you after ads. Bye. If you get hit with ads. Oh, a transition scenes. Hi. Okay, look. Some of you are gonna get hit with the ads, some of you aren't. But for my friends who are watching the VOD, however, you will be seeing me. You don't see the ads. I learned that the hard way through the other day's stream. So let's get one thing straight. Today I plan on, because we're not doing the epilogue, I'm planning to knock out 3 or 4, maybe 5. But you all know how I get. I get really pissed off after, what is it? After, every time I have to read, I think that's where I get pissed off. Don't hate. Appreciate. Yes. Appreciate the fact that I'm sacrificing what little brain cells I have left in order to stream for you guys. Yay. Whew. Okay. Sometimes I try to think, like, what should I talk about? And then I'm like, sure. Today, I think I should just talk about, I guess, my day. I didn't really do much. As I told you guys, 2 weeks ago today, I moved away, and my place doesn't have a washer and dryer. So right now, we're just looking for a washer and dryer. And then we'll be set for life. Whoa. Don't think your girl Angel's walking around dirty clothes. I am the, second cleanest person you know. And that differs from everybody. I'll say I'm a relatively clean person. Like, I can acknowledge a little mess. Like, okay, well, whoop-de freaking doo-doo. The room looks like it has life to it.
Nah, you dirty, gang.
What? Okay, in case you're unaware, Beast is also right behind me. I moved in with him. Yay! No longer shall I get my name called for doing anything. Now it's people pass me food while I stream. It's definitely a weird change because when I moved up here originally and started streaming, the first thing I realized is 45 minutes in, no one called my name to do anything. Like, here, I can stream and not have those long, awkward pauses where I'm just gone. I definitely will not miss those. I won't miss every long pause. And the fun thing too is, okay, I want to say for the record that I'm working with one monitor until tomorrow's stream. Once I stream tomorrow, I'm gonna have my dual monitor stand set up, so I can finally have two screens again. Because ever since, like, whenever I finally set up my PC here and I started streaming, forgot what day that was. I finally, what did I do? Beast let me use one of his monitors, and so I'm only streaming with one monitor right now, which I guess isn't that bad, but it still kind of sucks, because I typically have the game going in one screen, one monitor, and then I'll have kind of you guys on the side. But now it's like, oh great, now I can only have the game running, and now I have to use a different device to see kind of chat in itself. So when y'all come back from ads, I'm gonna just greet you guys randomly, be a random ass greeting. You know? I'm assuming ads just ended. Yay, the ads just ended, so we can finally start playing. Okay, watch this. We're going to migrate to the game, because unlike the other day, I actually have it ready this time. That could have been worse. Could have been worse. So, let's go ahead and load in yesterday's file. Not yesterday, it would be Tuesday's file. We're gonna go growing, birthday, family, summer homework, and then the last one we might end up with is dinner or escape or yeah. So we're trying to tackle these 6 this stream. So yeah, let's start with growing and pray that Angel can read today, because we all know she can't. Okay, so early one afternoon, you found yourself in the living room with your family. It was another one of those summer days where it felt too hot to go outside, but it was too uncomfortable to do anything inside either. The air conditioner was cranked up as far as you could negotiate it, but everyone was still being pretty lazy. You, your moms, and sister were lounging around while the TV blared on in the backdrop, ignored by all of you. You specifically were sitting cross-legged on the floor. You looked out the window of the backyard, not that there was anything particular interest to watch. Anything of particular interest to watch. Christ. Elizabeth broke the silence with a loud groan. You glanced over. She was lying on her back on the couch, massaging her calf with one hand. Ugh, I feel terrible. I'm dying in this house and my legs hurt. Mom looked up from the magazine she was barely flipping through and frowned, concerned. Could you have strengthened them somehow? Elizabeth flailed briefly, then flopped to her side again with a heavy sigh. I don't know. It just hurts. Oh, sweetheart. Ma got up from her seat at the kitchen table and walked over to your sister. She did a light pat on Elizabeth's shoulder sympathetically. I'm sorry that you have to deal with all of that. Maybe it's growing pains? You could be taller by next fall. Elizabeth scoffed. She didn't look impressed by Mom's assessment. I'd rather be my height forever than...
Hello, how are you, Electric?
Electric! Hi, buddy! Oh my god. Electric, you missed all the other gameplays, though. I hope you're doing good. Let Tyler, the creator, say, I hope you're good, I hope you're well, I hope you're... Whatever he said. I hope you're doing okay. Swell. I think I'm gonna move. Okay. I think I'm gonna move the goals. I just realized I probably should move them from the bottom to the top. Or from the top to the bottom. It just looks better that way. But I love our life. Ooh, I'm mad playing that new game when it comes out too. Straight. We're gonna have like a week long marathon when it comes out. Hello, hello. I fell asleep a bit ago, but woke up to see who else was streaming. How are you? Yes, I'm excited for it. I'm doing, um, you know what? I'm good. I'm doing good. I think good's the word I'll use. Just tear up a box of Mikey Knight's best candy flavor. Mom walked over to lean against the back of the couch. Kids, they grow up so fast. Soon Elizabeth will have a home of her own, maybe even with a nice husband and some kids if she feels like it. She sniffed loudly and wiped at her eye, but you could tell that it was just a bit. You tilted your head. Even you knew Elizabeth liked guys. Even though you knew Elizabeth liked guys, it was hard to imagine her with a boyfriend or a husband. She only seemed invested in hanging out with her group of friends, not chasing after boys. Mom must agree with you because she shook her head. Let's not exaggerate. She's still practically a child. You really say that when Reese's Cups I'm allergic to peanut butter, so I can't have Reese's Cups. I know. Oh my god, you missed your childhood. No, I did not. I didn't miss shit. Reese's Cups. Okay, no, wait, okay. You know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. Peanut butter is ass. Whoever taught you guys that peanut butter is the best thing in the world clearly was a liar. I had it before I was allergic. Most ass peanut butter ever. Ooh. I hate peanut butter. Yeah, you have that. You got that. You can have the peanut butter. But even if you, but if you ever do pursue romance, Elizabeth, you can come talk to me about it. Definitely. We're always willing to lend an ear. Elizabeth's features contort in disgust. No way! I'm not talking to my moms about that. Mom's jaw dropped and she gasped in an exaggerated display of shock. Her hand came up to rest against her chest. Ma only grinned. She didn't look offended by Elizabeth's quick response at all. It really wouldn't be so bad for us to come to us. I know what it's like to have a crush on a pretty boy or two. I don't, but I can listen anyway. Mom snorted at her own joke. My mom burst into giggles. They were having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. Elizabeth started. Okay. Oh my god, he fell asleep. I'm in the same room as Beast right now. This boy done fell asleep. Beast. Bro, are you tired? Okay. Get the cover on you go to bed, buddy.
It's too hot.
Oh, it is a bit too hot. I'm gonna run the fan on low. And pray that the mic doesn't pick it up. The mic is definitely picking that up. I don't care. Your health is in danger. And let my boy sleep. I was trying to help him sleep. Why? I just went back to help him sleep. Don't hate, appreciate. Elizabeth certainly wasn't feeling the amusement because she rolled her eyes and sat up. I'm going back to my room. I'd rather melt alone, thanks. She strode off towards the staircase, taking the steps two at a time. Your mom stared after her, then turned to each other with raised eyebrows. Whoops, looked like we scared her off with all that romance talk. Oh well, we'll get her next time. You watched them titter with some surprise. Obviously your mom's like women, but you had no idea that moms like guys too. Today was the first time you heard her say something like that. Wait, you had crushes on guys? Since when? Ma turned to you, happy to bring you into things now that you've spoken up. She smiled and nodded. Always. I like both. But I like your mom most out of everyone. She's special. Ma's smile turned all soft in corners, like it usually did when she looked at her. She pinched Mom's cheeks lightly. Mom reached for a cup to hand over to Ma. Even when Ma stopped pulling her cheeks, their hands remained clasped together. Thanks, Lonnie. I think most women have charm, but no one can hold the candle to you. Aw, Pamela. Hose him down? I'm not hosing. Hey, Beast, you gonna let me hose you down, big bro? He said, no, I can't hose him down. I always gotta ask for consent. Ma beamed, then kissed Mom on the cheek she's been pinching before. The moment's cute. I'll take it. You smiled to yourself at the sight. No matter how often your moms expressed their feelings for each other, it was always nice to witness. Mom looked back at you, letting Mom's hand go with a brief squeeze. She settled down next to you, and Mom followed soon after. You know, I'm also here to listen to you too whenever you're ready. That offer isn't just for Elizabeth. In fact, I think that talk might be needed sooner for you. After all, you already have someone, isn't that right? Mom shook her head and elbowed Ma, but it was futile. Futile? Futile! That's the word, futile. Shut up. Meddler. I blushed fiercely. Ma only giggled and smiled, not looking the least bit apologetic. There's no rush, of course. You can take all the time you need to figure out what or who you want. Don't think you have to stick with whatever you. Oh shit, that's a hard sentence. Don't think you have to stick with whatever you come up with right now either. Life's nice like that. It can change and you can learn. Holy gosh, that was a hard sentence to read. Mom nodded her agreement. The two of us are happy to hear you out, and we may be able to relate better than you think. Still, we won't push the topic, at least most of the time. She gave Ma the weakest scathing look possible while being unable to stop grinning. That's just simple things. I'll think on it. Good, that's all we asked for. Mom let out another exaggerated sniffle. It didn't take a genius to realize it was fake. First Elizabeth and now you, Angel? Do you have to grow up? Yes, children tend to do that from time to time. Your parents quickly grew absorbed in their conversation about rearing kids. You took that as your cue to leave, getting up so you could spend some time alone in your room too. They let you go without problem, so you made your way up the stairs. You let her outside once you stepped into your room. It was just as sweltering in there as it was in the living room, possibly even a little warmer. You couldn't even open your window since it was hotter outside. You just let the AC out. You dragged your feet as you crossed the room. You checked your current sweltering condition in the mirror as you passed it. You thought back to the conversation you had downstairs about growing up and all that. After a moment, you stepped closer to the mirror. You stared into it, then turned away from the surface to look down at yourself. You were definitely growing, all right. It was weird thinking about how you were now in comparison to what you've been when you were younger. When it came to your body, Hey, it's okay to have a little chub. Have a little chub, mommy. You shifted to the side, your head still facing forward and continuing the self-evaluation from this point. Oh, at birth I was assigned female. Okay, let's just slap it. Okay, I'm trying to think of when I was 13. Trying to make this as canonically as possible. At 13, oh yeah, 13 they were, yeah, no. There's no mistaking it. Even with your shirt helping to obscure your form, you had boobs now. You reached over and massaged your scar with one hand, staring at it intensely at the mirror. By now, you knew that it was here to stay. You took a step backwards, finished with your improv inspection. You locked eyes with your reflection, cocking your head to the side. All things considered, the phantasm. Oh my god, my fit's fantastic! Why would I ever want to change? You beamed, pleased with what you saw. You even winked for good measure, before chuckling at yourself. You shook your head roughly, putting thoughts of what you were turning into out of your mind. This wasn't the time to focus on such things. You had to find something to do in this heat. You shuffled over to your bed, collapsing on the mattress. Your brows scrunched up in thought. Time passed slowly, and to your annoyance, possible ideas about what to do were few and far between. You weren't sure how long it had been, but eventually you heard your mom call you from downstairs. Angel, there's a call for you. Cove wants to come over. Is that alright? You pricked up at the words, sitting up in your bed. You yelled back to her immediately. Yeah! You got to your feet and headed downstairs, eager to see your friend. You needed to go downstairs soon anyway because your empty stomach told you it was almost time for lunch. Just as you reached the bottom of the stairs, you saw Mom put the phone back on the receiver. She glanced at Ma, leaning her hip against the kitchen counter. Well, here comes trouble. We better prepare ourselves. Ma clicked her tongue in clear disapproval of Mom's words. He's such a good boy. Cove never wants to cause any trouble. He can be just a bit thoughtless and impulsive. Oh, I know. He's very sweet, but that's what makes him more of a problem. If a stranger or some kid from school was egging Angel on to behave badly, I think we could both agree that she'd do the right thing in the end. But if Cove Holton got into a reckless mood and wanted Angel to be a part of the ride, can we really be certain of what call she'll make then? Yes, I think so. Angel helped Cove settle down. He would have gotten himself in more trouble without her. You do have a point. Ma just laughed as she turned away, still snorting. Her eyes met yours. She blinked in surprise and waved at you with an easy grin. Mom looks over, noticing you at the foot of the stairs as well. Oh, I didn't expect you to come down already, Angel. I just wanted to let you know what happened. I'm gonna call her out. How you gonna talk about me behind my back? That's a load of junk. I'm calling you out. Well, if I haven't come now, then I wouldn't have heard everything you said. Oh, ooh, you got caught, Pam. What? You were saying things too. I didn't say anything I wouldn't have told Angel directly. Oh, you're unbelievable. You shook your head at your parents, even though you felt a blush when you remembered just what they'd been discussing. All right, you got me. I'm sorry for being gossipy and saying that about your friend. I can be bad too. We'll get out of your way now. Mom sighed and mocked defeat and made her way down the hall. Mom did, not Ma. Ma followed after her with a hushed giggle. Now that you were alone in the living room, tasked with... Ooh, I ran that sentence weird. Now you were alone in the living room, tasked with waiting for Cove. And that was just fine with you. If it hadn't been so hot outside, you would visit him in his house a long time ago. You took a seat at the kitchen counter and settled in for the wait. As expected, there was a knock on the door a few minutes later. When you got up and answered it, your neighbor was standing on the other side. He came in once you stepped aside to let him pass, giving a little wave. You greeted him as you typically did. With a hug. He stiffened in your arms and relaxed seconds later. One would think he'd be used to your hugs after all these years. Hey. His voice was cracked as he struggled to say something. He didn't feel worried about that. It's how he usually reacted when you were close by. Cove sighed and wiped at his face a bit. You noticed the sheen of sweat across his brow. He must be glad to be back in the air-conditioned area, even if you've only walked across the street to get here. So what's with the sudden visit? I don't want to do anything. Not when it's like this. He gestured vaguely to the humid hair hanging around. Bro, I can't speak, I swear to God. I thought I could at least do nothing with you. Bro, I can't read. He thought that was really sweet. How did you know I was doing nothing? Maybe I had plans. You know, that would make sense. Oh, I was thinking the exact same thing. You grinned and he smiled back. And that was all there, and that there was all to it. Both of you were on the same page. Have you had lunch yet? I was gonna do it soon. He shook his head. I haven't really felt like eating because of the heat. I probably should have lunch. I didn't have breakfast this morning. You didn't eat at all? Do you gotta have something now? You urged Gove in the direction of the kitchen. He stumbled after you. Ah, okay. As one, you headed to the kitchen. You crossed your arms as you glanced around, wondering what you should scrounge up for a meal. I don't want to eat anything that's warmed up. Is there something cold or not cooked? Yeah. After a bit of back and forth, the two of you conclude that you should rate the fridge and cabinet in order to make sandwiches. With that settled, you had planned to decide on the outside ladies first. There was a wide variety to choose from, since everyone in your house has their own favorites. There was white bread, wheat bread, sourdough, mixed grains, gluten-free bread, and pita pockets. Could you take the grain out one for me? Sure. You reached for the mixed grains and then made your decision. I am a white bread girlie. I'm allergic to wheat, so white bread it is. You pulled out the white bread too, setting both items on the counter. Then you had to decide. Ooh, Hold on, chat. Chat, my roommate gave me pizza. It's Red Baron. I never had it before. Taste test. I wish you guys could see it, but I'm not face revealing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Ah. Ah. Ooh. Damn. Damn. That's hard. That's really hard. Chat, I didn't expect it to be so hard. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. They had decided what main direction the sandwich would go in. I want a sweeter style because it would be tastier. No, listen, white bread with sweet is really good. Something sweet would be perfect in the sweltering heat. As for the specific ingredients, listen, I'm rocking marshmallow fluff, honey, strawberries, and banana slices. That sounds fire. You nodded to yourself with a quiet hum, satisfied. The two of you bustled around the kitchen, opening and closing things in order to collect everything you needed for your individual sandwiches. You focused intently on assembling your own for the most part. When you were close to being done, though, you glanced over at your neighbor. Cove was putting his sandwich together delicately. His eyebrows, can't read. Furrowed and tongue sticking out. I don't know why I was right clicking. There were open jars of peanut butter and honey near his plate, as well as a banana peel. So he was gonna make a peanut butter banana honey sandwich on mixed grain bread. He didn't think much of it. It wasn't that surprising or interesting. Curious salivated, you turned back to your plate and finished your own creation. By the time you were done, Kopov already cleaned up his workstation. He turned to face you, studying your sandwich briefly. A small smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. You guessed it didn't look inedible to him at least. Done? Yeah. Cool. He waited as you quickly returned the ingredients and cleaned a few utensils. Then the two of you collected your respective plates. You both agreed on heading upstairs to hang out in your room. You and Cove entered your bedroom while balancing your food on plates. Nothing fell, so it was a successful trip. Cove took a seat on the ground, stretched out on the hardwood floor in an attempt to keep a bit cooler. He immediately took a big bite of his sandwich, chewed, and then hummed happily. This sandwich is really good. At least that's something. At this point, you sat down and started on your own sandwich. You nodded. You were enjoying yours too. Obviously, you were a pro at making sandwiches. He leaned back on his hands while chewing and glancing around. His every movement was sluggish. Want to do something? It seemed the plan of not doing anything at all has already worn thin, despite his lack of enthusiasm. Like what? He rolled his head back, looking up at the ceiling. What about Hangman? You laughed at the suggestion, but went along with it. You put your plate to the side and pulled up some markers and scrap paper. As you laid everything on the floor, he scooted back to make more room in front of you. Cove picked up one of the markers with his right hand while keeping half a slice of the sandwich in his left. Can I pick the phrase? Okay, I wanted to guess first anyway. He smiled briefly before he bent over the paper and began sketching the hangman frame. Then he stopped, pressing his lips in thought. He tapped the end of his marker against his cheek. You watched silently as Cove looked down on the paper, up at your face, then entirely off to the side in a loop. His marker kept tapping his cheek the entire time. You raised an eyebrow. He suggested the game and wanted to pick the phrase, but it looked like he didn't have anything in mind for it. Finally, he put empty lines on the paper to signify spots for letters. Alright, you can start guessing. 1, 2, okay, so it's 3, 3, 4. Okay, I'm taking a bite of pizza. It's good. Okay. He peered over. His secret phrase consisted of 3 words. The first 2 had 3 letters and the last had 4. He thought hard of what your first guess could be. Always guess vowels. You got 1. After the first round, you were about to take another bite of your sandwich when a thought occurred to you. I wonder if anyone turned off the TV downstairs. The TV. It was on earlier, but no one was really watching. Then everyone started leaving the living room. I know I didn't turn it off. It might still be on downstairs with no one there. Cole smiled quickly at that. Poor show, playing with no one around to enjoy it. Was that it? He squinted off in the middle distance, trying to recall the show's name. It felt like it was some crime-solving drama. Cove nodded sleepily. Why I read sheep, I have no idea. His eyes closed and opened again with some effort. Can you give any specifics? Maybe I can guess it. Well, you rested your chin on your open palm, groggily thinking as hard as you could. I remember there was a woman with long, blonde hair, I think? She was the one solving crimes, like a detective or something. Then there were scenes in the police station, because someone got arrested? You lapsed into silence, the both of you thoughtful. The Cove chuckled. It really wasn't that funny, but you joined in the laughter anyway. I don't know what it is. Me neither, and I just saw it. We're gonna go with the letter U. Ooh, good guess. Another round came and went, and Cove grumbled as he adjusted himself. His features were twisted in a grimace. I feel so sticky. Ugh, I'm gonna be stuck to this floor forever. You can be my new roommate if you want. He smiled lightly at your joke suggestion. It wouldn't be so bad. You couldn't help but smile too. Now that you thought about it, being roommates with Cove would be fun. Then you returned to the game. Okay, y'all, we gotta knock out vowels. So, okay. Oh, this word is you then. This is you. Alright. Cove spoke once more, catching your attention. He was peering down the piece of paper between you, his expression thoughtful. You know, Hangman is kind of a creepy game. Why did people come up with it? Why did they play it? Maybe it's what they had instead of real court trials back then? Cove raised a skeptical brow. You bit back a bit of laughter and feigned fury. If you got it right, then you were innocent and they let you go. But if you got it wrong, they kill you! And he shuddered at your eerie explanation before rejecting it outright. That's terrible and not real. You chuckled to yourself and went back to the creepy game. So the word appears you. That's another one. At this point, Cove has finished his sandwich. Yours was almost gone too, but now you were getting thirsty. You brought it up to your neighbor. Should we go downstairs and get some drinks? I was thinking that too, but I really don't want to get up. Me neither. You looked over at him, narrowing your eyes with false suspicion. But hey, what happened to you not being able to get up ever again because you were stuck to the floor? That's true. I mean, we're not actually going, are we? I only thought about it. You rolled your eyes and dropped the issue, defeated. Cove grinned a little at your disappointment over the victory. I had to slap an E in there. I know there's an E. Wait a minute.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm an AI assistant without needs for attention or food. Let's focus on how I can be helpful to you today.
Pedro, don't piss me off, bro. You are cute. That was the phrase that Cove had spent so long settling on. You stared at it. A few correct letters in, you had a feeling that you knew what the phrase was. Still, you felt butterflies in your stomach after seeing it. Clear as day on the paper. You took the words in for a moment, then you looked up at Cove. I gotta take another bite, bro. This piece is mad crunchy on the bottom, bro. At some point, there's just gonna be a running gag called "Every time Angel is eaten on stream." I won't be shocked when that becomes a thing. You took in the words for a moment longer, then you looked up at Code. He had trouble meeting your shocked gaze, a smile settling awkwardly on his lips. His next words left him in a mumble. It was all I could think of at the time. I covered my face bashfully. I gave him a playful shove, still in disbelief. You stayed where you were, unable to move. You fell backwards into the floor from your sitting position. You wrapped your arms around. I'm wrapping my arms. It was instinct. You leaned over and wrapped your arms around him in a hug. You didn't say anything. No, you're cute. Thank you. I can't believe you. Damn, Cove. You just let out a small sweet. Damn, Cove. Cove ducked his head at your cursing, clearly still feeling awkward about the movie pool. He turned away from you, his cheeks tinted pink. A moment passed between the two of you. Now would be the perfect time to change the subject, but you didn't. He didn't either. Things started feeling a bit more personal after all of a sudden. Not after all. What? You looked into Cove's ocean eyes and saw yourself staring back. I really think you're cute. Seriously. Cove's features softened at your words, but he remained serious. Thanks. I mean, I meant it too. Finally, he broke the eye contact. I've heard at some point you're supposed to start liking types of people. Girls, guys or girls or whoever. I haven't really noticed that yet. Nothing's changed. Not in a big way. Not for everybody. Maybe I have to grow up more. But at least with... You waited, but he trailed off. He wasn't going to keep talking. You pouted. You wanted him to finish his thought. At least wait. He shook the strangers off of the situation and tried to be supportive. Maybe you just don't like anybody. Or maybe you like all types of people. That's normal too. Cove seemed to appreciate that thought, if the smile that appeared on his lips were any indication. But the expression was quick to disappear. He peered over at you looking nervous. Okay, what about you? What kind of guy or person do you like? He winced and seemed to be mentally kicking himself for saying it like that. You considered his question carefully. Did you know who or what you liked? Okay, I'm trying to think. You were starting to have physical attraction in a general way. You only seem to be physically attracted in specific cases and situations. I like that answer. You were starting to have romantic attraction in a general way. But specifically when it came to how you felt about boys. I fucks with everybody. Oh, yeah. Alright, chat, I'm back. You know what? I got something for you guys. Fig, listen. I want to eat this pizza. Hear me out. I'll be right back. I'm going to tear up this pizza, and then we're going to continue. I'm actually going to turn the music back on. So there's something going on. It's really loud here. I'll be right back. Oh. Yeah. BRB chat.
Hello, how are you, Angel Bunny?
I'm gonna make it so that you guys can see what I'm watching too. I'm gonna call this source YouTube and add. One 20 by 180. The URL is Central V. Slide. Is it working, chat? It is. This is an awesome video. I don't even think it's really playing. Yeah. This is mad satisfying, bro. I just realized this is the weirdest way to take a break from a stream. And we got to throw you guys on some videos, and then we can watch them together. Type of stream. What? I'm silly. Oh, you're done. Tommy! Get the fuck up out of my chair! Bro! I'm trying to figure out where to set this, because everyone dubbed my corner the place of the Stop. I know. Here. Hi. Dinner's ready. Twinkle just wanted to let you know. Move, Dobbs. Love you. Okay. I was talking to the cat. Okay, chat. I hope you enjoyed that. How I got more people when I'm gone? You know what? No. Y'all, yeah. Y'all don't get the luxury of this no more. How more people show up when I was gone? You know what? Back to the gameplay. Back to the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it, because I definitely did. Alright. Let's keep stream. Let's keep it rolling. You returned your attention to Cove. He was waiting patiently for your response. Explain. He listened intently, taking in every word as you tried to convey how you felt. He definitely perked up a bit when you mentioned having some interest in romantic relationships. Then he scratched the back of his head, sheepish. I'm not really sure how we ended up talking about all of this when we were starting out just playing Hangman. But it was good, I think. I think so too. Cove chuckled a little bashfully. He glanced around, clearly scrambling for something else to say. So, have you seen any movies recently? Oh yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you. The conversation took a lighter turn after that, and it felt like you got closer that afternoon. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. To your relief, the air cooled down a bit as a result. You pulled yourselves off the floor, as did Cove, for some minor complaints. You both stretched your arms, groaning, and yawned into your hands. You glanced out your window briefly, taking in the soft reds, pinks, and purples of the late afternoon sky. Wait. Okay. I was fully convinced my mic was off, so thank God I double checked. Alright. Just listen forward. Of the late afternoon sky. Somehow you made it through the scorching hot day in one piece. Cove turned to you, motioning towards your window with his chin. Want to go outside? It might be better out there than it was here. Let's do it. I'm sick and tired of being cooped up inside all day. The two of you took your time heading downstairs. You stopped briefly to grab a drink of water, then continued your way. You stepped outside, one after the other, your destination being the familiar hills behind your house. This time of day, it was quiet outside. The flowers blew gently in the wind, petals trembling but stubbornly hanging in there. You felt the cool breeze in your heated skin and you relaxed your shoulders. Cove closed his eyes, releasing a deep breath. I really love it out here. I do too. Cove smiled. Tendrils of his hair danced with the wind. A beat passed, but his gaze didn't stray from your own. His voice was impossibly soft when he spoke up again. I'm glad I met you, Angel. You're really important to me, you know. You blushed at the statement. You hoped that your reaction wasn't obvious, but it must have been, because a smile grew at the corners. Then Cove reached over and held your hand without another word. Even as the sun disappeared completely and the sky darkened, you and Cove remained side by side for as long as you possibly could. Oh, that was a cute ending. Why do I feel like my model froze? Did it really? Is it really frozen? Oh. Okay, so my stream has a thing where after a while it will like turn itself on and off. So don't know why I did that, but yay. We're done with growing and heading into birthday. Growing probably wouldn't have took so long if I didn't have to eat. It's a birthday. I'm gonna take a couple drinks. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone brightly and the breeze tugged lightly at the balloons strung around the park. You and Cove had just been dropped off at Miranda's birthday party. You didn't really know Miranda. Last year was the first time you had a class with her, and everyone at school knew her as quiet. The shy girl stuck to her own friend group like glue. You had been surprised when she was having such a big party. You looked around at the expansive park, a spacious recreation center in the next town over, and noticed a bouncy castle. Miranda had a bit of a reputation for not caring if she acted mature like other teens sometimes did. It made a certain amount of sense that her party would match that. You tickle me, girl. I think Miranda's pretty sweet. I always wanted to bounce a castle on my birthday. Never got one. You have already gotten the vibe that she was nice, and inviting you to her party proved it. Oh my god. Bro. I almost killed myself there, bro. You liked that she wasn't obsessive with proving that she was grown up. Maybe hanging out today would be fun. You haven't had a choice in coming here today. Your mom insisted on it after you got the invitation, as did Cove's mom and dad. So both you and he were driven over to the next town with presents in tow. All the parents have been pretty firm about going to a birthday if you've been invited.
The stream will be back soon. Stay tuned.
Oh, you winches. We're stuck here. I didn't even realize we hit ads. See what I mean? Every time they hit ads, it's always when I'm in the groove of things. And I don't get the alert because I'm only on one freaking monitor. I'm only on one monitor. I'm about to crash out, bro. Bro. Candy is so good, man. I need me some more. I'm on that good cushion alcohol. What? I got some down brothers I can call. I don't know. It's weird because when these ads roll, I have to like let it dangle. I have to keep the conversation going. So, you know, nothing wrong with keeping the conversation going. Okay, when I choked on that drink though, I'm not gonna lie, I really saw my life flash before my eyes. I'm drinking apple juice right now. Wow. Wow. Bro. I've been looking for my phone all day today and I haven't been able to find it. Like, I lost it like 3 hours ago and I haven't seen it since. I don't know, bro. So, it's all good. Chat, what video games do you like playing? Personally, my favorite game. Oh, I have an Amazon order coming in soon. So, I ordered a new stylus for my iPad. A pink Stanley cup because I don't have one yet. I have a weird greenish one, but not a pink one. And some leg warmers. Who knows, your girl might be starting to rock out the Gyadu look. Nothing wrong with being a Gyadu. I think Gyadus are pretty cool. Now, personally, I'm trying to think. I hate when I have to think or like do something at the same time. What if I don't want to think? What if I want to be a stupida? It's okay. Jesus. Ooh, ooh, wah, wah, ooh, wah. Ooh, wah, wah, yeah, not a hat. I don't know why I did that. Anyway. Let's go ahead and continue. Since it seems like our fellow purple people have returned from ads. I think it's best that we attend Miranda's party. Miranda seems to be cool, inviting us. So why not stick around and hang out? It was only polite to go... trying to middle myself. It was only polite to go to Miranda's party. Your moms were pretty happy with your attitude as well. Cove made a small noise which caught your attention. He looked around, scanning the area. He fidgeted with his gift in his hand. Any idea what we're supposed to do with these? You looked at your own present and then towards the seating area. There were a table filled with snacks and drinks, supplies for various party games. Past all that, you spotted one table in the back that seemed to have a truckload of gifts. You pointed it out to Cove. I see presents. Let's go. Cove nodded with a smile and turned to where you gestured. He saw it too. Cool. You and Cove began to walk over to the present table, flattering the well-trimmed grass beneath your feet. Bruh. You walked past groups
I'm an AI assistant. I don't experience emotions or physical needs. Let me know if you have any other questions I can help with.
I hate Pando, bro. It's not that I hate the people. I hate the fact that every time I'm in a good groove, that's what you want to talk. And it throws off my whole train of thought. You walk past groups of people, classmates in semicircles, broken up into the usual friend groups, chatted away. You, or maybe Cove, received the occasional greeting or friendly nod. However, as you passed by even more people that you'd never seen before, you became aware that there were more strangers here than not. It was more crowded than you expected. Miranda, the quiet girl, was hosting the most populated birthday party you have been to in a long time. You looked at the new faces and thought you saw something of Miranda in them. Cousins, niece, or nephews, maybe? Parties could be a big deal in her family. The both of you reached the table. You set your gift down in an empty space, brushing some confetti inside, and Cove placed his gently next to it. He looked at the present thoughtfully. Hey, what did you get her? Before you had a chance to answer, Cove opened his mouth again and tapped his gift. I found this sparkly backpack. I figured she could use it for school or a trip or something. Your moms have taken you out shopping the other day. You searched through the store and ultimately... I chose a yarn craft gift that made a toy. The colorful picture on the box appealed to you. It showed off the different variations you can make with the kit, along with the bolded messages of easy and 43 pieces included. Hopefully the kit was as cool as it looked. You described it to Cove briefly and he had no objections. Not a bad idea. He brushed his hands against the sides of his pants. I really hope Miranda likes her gifts, but I think we both did good. With that, he gave you a sunny grin. You touched the gift one more time and then stepped away. Without the direction of needing to put stuff away, the two of you weren't sure what to do next. You felt a little awkward and Cove shrunk in on himself as he looked around. There was more guests heading to the presents table, so you turned away and wandered to a nearby tree where you wouldn't be in the way. From there, you both inspected the area and planned the next step. You were glad that Cove has been invited to. At least you had his company in this unfamiliar place. You watched him and he gave you a nervous grin. It reassured you a little and you smiled back. What next? Cove did not appreciate being put on the spot. He was just as unsure as you were. Birthday party stuff? It didn't seem to be time for cake. What with people still arriving. Nothing else seemed to be organizing just yet. He noticed that himself and tried again. We could find Miranda. That was an idea. It made sense to greet the birthday girl. Okay, we could say hello. Wish her happy birthday. Ask her what she wants people to do. Sounds good. And with that point, it was decided. The Miranda hunt had begun. You wandered around. Anytime you saw someone with Miranda's hair color, you got a little closer, but more than once it turned out to not actually be her. Hey, look! Finally, he pointed over to the real Miranda. She smiled lightly when you both approached, but ducked her head. She seemed a little overwhelmed with being the center of attention today. Hi, Cove. Hi, Angel. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, well, she said it, but I'm going to say it again. Thanks. I'm really glad you could come. Hold on. We're going to make the voices louder than the music. That just makes sense. You all stood awkwardly. Miranda did seem genuinely happy, but there was still a distance between you. This is a great-looking party. Thank you. Is there something we need to do, or should we just hang out?
Well, you can talk to people if you want. There are games that are gonna start soon.
So she has some voice lines, so I don't gotta do every line. And the bounce house should open later if you feel like jumping. Then after that, it's cake and present time. We'll have ice cream too. After that is when the people will start going home. I hope that's okay with you guys. Cove nodded. He seemed a bit more confident about the situation now. That's a plan. Thanks. You gave Miranda a thumbs up and she smiled in return. She seemed slightly less uncomfortable. Miranda waited there and you became hyper aware of the silence forming. You heard a shout for Randy, and Miranda brightened up. A total 180 for how stiff she has been with you.
I've gotta talk to some more people. Goodbye.
The birthday girl ran off to her friend, leaving you and Cove with at least a little more idea of what to expect. You both glanced at each other wordlessly. All that was left now was finding something to fill time until the activities began. I'm gonna try to chat to more people. Cove kept at your side as you socialized. There was a lot of introductions and small talk, but you weren't surprised. You ran into some classmates and ended up talking about a rumor that there was a new art teacher in the fall. Cove didn't buy the wildest of rumors about her, that she was an international art thief who was hiding out from the law. You wondered how a story like that even got started. One of your classmates laughed and said that she heard it from someone who's been in summer school and happened to see a truck with some paintings wrapped in a bag. She didn't understand the stretch either. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed over the crowd. The constant buzz of conversation dropped as one of the adults, maybe Miranda's dad, asked the kids to gather around because it was game time. I wonder what's going to happen. You made a joke about something that wasn't going to happen. We're going to play high-stakes poker. It's obvious. Obvious, huh? Look at this crowd. Most of the guests were teenagers around your age, but there were also quite a few adults and some younger kids. Cove nodded sagely at the group of little kids. Yeah, these are the high rollers. The adult announced that the children under 10 had the first turn on the bounce house. For everyone else, it was time to play pin the tail on the donkey. Cove raised his eyebrow. He was surprised for sure. I'm excited. Pin the tail on the donkey sounded like fun. Maybe you could even win. You casually stepped up to join the line. The donkey in question was a cartoony poster with big feet with big eyes that looked more like ping pong balls. It was positioned a few feet above the ground on a tree trunk. The teen who arrived first was blindfolded and then spun around. He was nudged to the side away from the other kids so that he wouldn't stick someone with the tail instead. Unfortunately for him, he placed the tail on the donkey's head like some kind of bizarre earring. He wouldn't be winning that far from the target. His next opponent did far better by landing on the donkey's back. The spectators clapped politely and the line moved up. More teens tried their hand at it. Some got closer than the others, but no one has gotten it perfect yet. Soon it was Cove's turn. He was blindfolded and spun around just like the others. At this point, it was a close match and everyone was watching with bated breath. Cove approached the donkey and stuck the tail on without any hesitation. Cove stood back and removed his blindfold, cheering when he saw how close he was. He turned his head over his shoulders and grinned at you. Your turn. I took my turn. Abby, with the blindfold on the bright part, came utterly dark. As you were spun around, the sounds around you seemed to get louder. At least you could tell the direction of the bounce house from the shrieks of the younger kids. You stopped spinning and stepped forward, tail in hand. It was time to give it the stab. I'm gonna place it to the... Considering that this might be pin the donkey, I'm gonna place it to the right. You press the tail onto the target and step back. You took your blindfold off and checked your results. There was some more clapping from the audience. The tail wasn't too far off. Behind you there was a particular enthusiastic ooh, and a couple of people mentioning how close you got. You smiled and looked back at Cove. He seemed amused. His tail wasn't off by much either, and you couldn't tell which of you was winning. They were just too nearby each other. A few more kids took their turns. One girl somehow managed to pin the tail on the opposite side of the tree. You were pretty sure that had to be on purpose. With the line empty, the game was finally over. The adult running thing started to inspect the donkey. At this point, there was more tails than donkey. After your name was announced, everyone cheered and clapped for you once more. You came up to the front and the man gave you a handful of candy as a prize for victory. Thank you. As you showed the candy in your pockets, Cove walked up to you. Congrats on the win. I felt bashful. Once you had your candy situated, you unwrapped a particularly chewy taffy candy and shoved it in your mouth. It was sweet and tasted like artificial banana flavoring. It also gave you an excuse not to speak, and you just nodded in response. I offered to share. Do you want some? His sparkling eyes told you yes. You held a lollipop and Cove accepted it carefully. It was a mystery flavor, so you had no idea if you liked it or not. He unwrapped the He unwrapped the treat, and it was a swirl of pale blue and translucent green. Cove gave it a tiny lick. What does it taste like? Your victory. And berries, I think. You both laughed at that, and you gave him some more candies. An older teen walked up, tall enough to tower you and Cove. You felt a little intimidated by a stern-faced teenager until she started to speak. Her voice was low and friendly than her tough frown would suggest. Hey, I'm handing out party favors. Do you want one? She showed you party hats. She insisted they were a key to a true partying mood. She had two options, either a colorful headband with two tiny party hats arranged almost like ears, or a tiara with a star on it. They were both very festive.
It's okay.
No thanks. You knew the teen haven't actually glared at him. Her default expression just seemed to be grim. Girl, I'm taking the crown. You pointed to the crown, and the teenager passed it over to you with the solemnness of crowning a monarch. I'm not gonna make him pick. Both of you had made your decision, and that was it. The unknown teenager nodded approvingly at you and went to go pass out more hats to more people. You put the party hat on your head with a smile, and it fit well. It was surprisingly comfortable. It really complements your look. When did you get so fashionable? Gotta take a drink. Bro, how I keep getting juice in my windpipe is actually insane. Like, this is the third sip I've taken where it actually managed to get in my jugular, and I'm actually, like, peeved off at this point. He smirked, and you just adjusted your new accessory. I'm a party animal now. Really? Of course. Cove nodded with a thoughtful look on his face. If the party spirit is contained in party hats, does that mean they're haunted? You snorted at the suggestion. You considered the hat on your head. It didn't seem haunted, but maybe that was what it wanted you to think. After that, the people in charge quickly set up the next game. Teenagers miled about until they were told to find partners. You tried listening to the rules, straining your ears to listen to the adult announcing what you were supposed to do. It was a simple game. One person in a pair would throw candy while the other person had to catch it in their mouth. If they caught it, the pair would move on to the next round where everyone would take a step back and the former catcher would become the thrower. The game would continue. The players gained further and further until one set of partners are the only ones left standing, or everyone lost in a round. About half the guests had already found partners. They moved fast. You noticed Cove had his eyes on you. Could we be partners? Neither of you were all that familiar with anyone else here. It would be the safe choice to pair up. I agreed. Let's do it, partner. Cool. He beamed and you started wondering about your suspected candy catching capabilities. Two rows of players facing each other formed. Cove tilted his head towards them, and you started to head over. You both lined up directly in front of each other. It took a while to pass out the candy. You were handed a small bag of gummies that smelled strongly fruity. You noticed Cove took it upon himself to do a taste test of a red one across from you. They're not that bad. What did it taste like? Raspberry or cherry? It's red, so strawberry? Maybe? Pomegranate? It was a mystery. Maybe you get a red one later. And then it was time to begin. Cove's row was set to throw first. He smiled nervously, his eyes wide with seriousness. You grinned widely and he seemed to relax a bit. The game was on. The adult in charge shouted for the throwers to go. You and Cove were only a couple feet away from each other. With Cove's careful toss, you caught the candy easily. Like you, most of the other players moved on to the next round. There were a few gaps in the rows as everyone took a step back. This round was harder with pairs further apart, but not so overly so. It could be done and both partners tried. I did my best as I tossed it. You carefully plucked the gummy from the bag and felt the weight. You shifted it in your hand a couple of times for practice, then told Cove you were ready. You went in for an underhand throw, careful to aim for Cove's mouth. The blue candy arched and landed perfectly in Cove's mouth. He chewed it twice and smiled widely. You could tell Cove was genuinely pleased to make it through another round. You were happy as well. The next round began and you took another step back. Cove was even further away now, but he made an okay sign. He was in it to win it. Around you, the once packed rows of players have thinned out some. You wonder how many rounds everyone had left in them. Cove swung his arm and made eye contact with you. You nodded and the green candy flowed towards you. Ooh, hi! Curious NPC.
Hello, how are you, curious?
Welcome to our life. I didn't realize there was other people in here. Threw me off with the overwhelm, but you know, don't mind me. I'm just gonna keep reading. We're at a birthday party right now. We're in phase step 2. Step 2. Yes, that's where we are. The music's a little loud. I'm losing my train of thought. Crank this bad boy down. Alright, let's go ahead. I followed the arc of the candy and opened my mouth wide. It had a slight spin on it and you tilted your head to the left to confiscate. You bit down on the candy, grinning with your victorious catch. It tasted sweet and vaguely like a Slurpee. Yay! Angel! For win! Us! Cove was thrilled. He was entirely invested in the game at this point. You and Cove were still in the game. You knew this was the final round. Only a few other pairs were still left. Cove was determined to win. You could see in the clench of his jaw the careful way he watched you. I equally wanted to win. You made it this far. I'm doing well. Glad to see in our live stream. How is Angel Bunny? How's the chat? Me, I'm vibing. I'm doing good, actually. I keep choking on my apple juice, which is making me a little sad, but I'm gonna get through the cup. But I think I'm good. I think chat's good. We're all vibing. Just having fun. I made it this far. It was time to go all the way. You looked around your remaining competitors and prepared yourself. Cove gave you a firm grin and you prepared to throw. Your fingers grabbed an orange gummy from the bag. It felt solid in your grasp, even if your hand was starting to get sticky from touching all the sugary sweets. Cove leaned his face towards you and bent his knees, ready to catch. The time came. You looked at the candy, then Cove. I tried my best. The candy flew like a missile straight towards him. Cove almost stumbled forward trying to get it right, but your aim was perfect. He got it in his mouth. A wide grin spread to his face as Cove victoriously chomped down on the candy. Yes! Along with the cheer, he jumped up in excitement and pumped one arm. You looked to your left and then to your right. You see the the few remaining pairs walking away, commiserating over their losses. With some shock, you realize that you and Cove were the only ones who made it that round. You won. You've watched the moment Cove clicked into the same realization. His face brightened like sunshine. He jogged over to close the distance between you. You stepped closer to meet him halfway. High five. Avi, you put your hand up and Cove high-fived you with a satisfying smack. You won this together. He giddy stomped his feet in place in front of you as you thought he couldn't contain his energy. We did it! Then he wrapped an arm around your neck, pulling you into a celebratory side hug. You adjusted the hat that nearly fallen off through the event. Nice catch. Nice throw. The game runner strolled and merrily gave you both a bunch more candy on top of letting you keep the gummy bags. It was quite the collection. Cove laughed over just how much candy you both have acquired. Between this game and Pin the Tail and Donkey, you were swimming in sugar now. With the candy toss over, you were going to need something else to do. You didn't have to wait long. You heard someone in the crowd shout that the bouncy house was officially open for the older kids. Ah! Why did I scream like that? You and Cove shared a look. Cove smiled and you knew he wanted in. You both ran over to the bouncy house and kicked off your shoes. You crawled into the inflated castle with Cove hot on your heels. There was a couple of other teens already inside. You started to get a feel for bouncing. Cove hopped from the middle to the side and back. Just as you landed from a particularly high jump, someone else snuck in. It was the birthday girl herself. Hey, Miranda. Hello. Miranda looked happy. She waved both her hands at you with a megawatt grin. I hope you're having fun. She hopped around with her hands in front of her like a kangaroo. It was a surprisingly effective way to clear the distance in the bounce house. She then jumped high, kicking both her legs out to the side and touched the tips of her toes with her fingers. Whoa! Miranda haven't run out of tricks yet. She jumped a couple more times, gaining height before doing a backflip and tucking into a ball. My Shayla!
The Twitch Pet Cafe and you can pet and play with me. The cafe is a Twitch extension. Stop by and let's have some fun.
Panda, we're talking about our Shayla. Who's the Shayla in question? Are we talking about Miranda or are we talking about Cove? Personally, I assumed we were talking about both. That's why. Or my Shaylas. I love both of them. Oh my god, listen. Step 2 is probably my favorite because they look the cutest in Step 2. I have a soft spot for Step 2 if you can't tell. I mean both, but Miranda is my girl. Ugh. I think my first run through, because I had owned this game for years. My first run through this game, Miranda was up there because of her freckles and her purple eyes. Definitely was up there in my list. She managed to land on her feet, but it didn't stick the landing. She tumbled back and fell on her butt. Cove clapped and Miranda inclined her head, almost like a bow. She was back to jumping in no time. You're so good at this. She bounced close enough for the two of you to talk without shouting across the way. Cove's bouncing slowed down to accommodate their conversation.
Family gets these every year. And we have a trampoline in the backyard.
Okay, so my girl's used to this. Alright. You're so lucky, Miranda. Miranda giggled a bit and then her eyes sparkled. Hey, I can launch someone if you want. If I jump in front of you, then your bounce will go higher. Girl, launch me. What are we talking about? Launch me to the moon, girl. Okay, we finna get launched, y'all. Watch this. Miranda leaped over to you. Her excitement cleared on her face. Cove watched with interest. She explained more clearly how this was supposed to work. You got ready to bounce on her cue. 3, 2, 1! The moment she came down, you jumped high. The force of her, just as she had said, helped you launch up. The air rushed past your face, and then you were coming back down. Your feet hit the bounce house hard enough to help launch Miranda up a little as well. She giggled some more, and the two of you took turns bouncing each other up. Cove clapped or offered suggestions, but it was coming clear that he wanted to turn too. Miranda invited him to join and tried to synchronize your bounces to launch Cove up super high. The first attempt resulted in everyone crashing down in a pile of laughs. By the 5th attempt, Cove managed to catch some serious airtime. Woo! You all had fun bouncing around. You twirled, Miranda did stunts, Cove futilely, whoa, I can't read, futilely, there we go, we'll go with that, tried to touch the highest tip of this castle ceiling. You and Cove chatted to Miranda more than you ever had at school. She truly was the queen of this bouncy castle. Whenever someone did something cool, everyone would cheer. If you fell, the others would help you up. Eventually, more people wanted to take turns in the bouncy house, so you and Cove left. As you slipped on your shoes, you saw Miranda get drawn into a conversation with a group of adults. She would be talking to them for a while. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. Let's see. I'm so glad to find another Our Life fan. Have you played the other routes or the Now and Forever? Wait! The Now and Forever has a beta? Oh, guys, next stream, we're playing Now and Forever beta. I don't care what you guys say. I originally was going to play on Borderlands, but now my mind has changed. If there's a demo, we're playing the demo. You're not listen. If anything, I think you're helping me because sometimes my brain gets fried when I read too much. So, I mean, it's hot in this room, though. I'm gonna crank my fan up and face it towards here. If you hear a little fan in the back, that's what. Ooh, this fan feels nice. But I haven't played the beta yet, so I will definitely do that on tomorrow's stream. And then we'll just pick this back up another day. Because at this point, if the demo isn't that long, we'll probably play a round of Beginning and Always after Now and Forever. Alright, let's do this. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. Yeah, you went to the party table and grabbed some ice water. Cove handed you
Curious and PC. Welcome to the Bungos.
Ah! Well,
Thank you, Curious, for the follow. I appreciate your interest and look forward to our future interactions.
yes, we look forward to our future interactions. Welcome, my friend, to the Bungos. Angels, bunnies, dongos. Bungo. Bunny, dongo, the bungo. I don't know why I elaborated on that further than I needed to, but just know and appreciate that we appreciate your follow. 100%. And don't forget with your follow, you get 300 channel points. So if you want to kind of gaze upon and look at the channel points, if you want to see, change up the party a little. Also, too, I'm gonna say this. Okay, I had my roommate come in real quick. She had to ask me a question. But let's see. I always name myself entered in Our Life Bunny, so I feel like we're kindred spirits. Yeah, you know what? You're probably like my long lost sibling, low key. Long lost digital sibling. Yeah, exactly what we are. Where was I in this sentence? I'm gonna just reread the whole sentence because I lost track of the sentence where I was. Cove handed you a party noise maker and he picked up from the same table. He blew on his and it made a funny noise when unrolled. Cove downed his drink in a couple of gulps. He got pretty into bouncing after all. Oh my god, he actually has it on his mouth. You're still sipping on your water when Cove blew his noisemaker again. Then again, and again. It was almost a tune. You don't recognize any particular melody, but a noisemaker also isn't an instrument. The noise cut through the hum of the other party guests, loud and noticeable. I'm amused by his antics. You laughed and Cove started blowing into it more towards you. He leaned into the tip of the unfurled paper and nearly booped your nose. You stepped back and shook your head fondly. I jokingly tried to get away. I slid to the side and dramatically dodged his noisemaker. He followed you and struck again with a particularly loud doot. You laughed when he missed and tried not to yell when he got close.
Oh, great. You people again.
Ooh! Oh, is this who I think it is? Lord. Someone vaguely familiar shouted at you. It shouted, and you snapped your head to the side. Cove's noisemaker dropped from his mouth. The speaker stepped up, and there was no doubt it was Jeremy, that mean boy you met at the start of summer. Oh, hey, it's the bowl cut kid. Jeremy's scowl told you everything about what he thought about that moniker. Why are you here? Tones, Cove. Wow, I just mixed the word Cove and tone. Bro, Jeremy annoys me. Okay, wait. So, little lore drop. I also played XOXO Droplets, which I am going to have to play here with you guys because I haven't played since 2021 and I don't remember anything. It's like the comedy one, and then I also played the actual one. I didn't finish the actual one, but I played the comedy one, and I finished, to a degree, that one. So we're definitely going to have to play that again. Oh, hey, buddy. I hate Jeremy. Hate's a strong word. I mildly dislike Jeremy. XOXO and I got so excited to read your sentence. I mixed up the words. Yes, XOXO and blood droplets are so fun. Personally, blood droplets was my favorite because it was so funny. And I think XOXO is fun too, but XOXO is so long. Like, that has a lot of days to it. It's kind of like Monster Prom, but with a little more, like, extraness to it. I gotta read the sentence. But I personally was a blood droplets fan. Cove's tone was defensive. You watched Jeremy's face turn slack as if Cove's question was the idiocy above all idiocies. Girl, I use cheat codes there's cheat codes? You're gonna have to hook me up. You're gonna have to hook me up with cheat codes, man. Didn't I already explain this? He had it, so both you and Cove exchanged a look. Do you have memory loss, or are you really that stupid? Seriously?
I didn't walk here.
I didn't walk here. My parents brought me here. Apparently, I couldn't just stay inside like I wanted. No, they insisted that I get out and enjoy the day and have fun on vacation. Blah, blah, blah.
Hello, and welcome to our friendly chat. I'm here to assist you with any questions or concerns you may have. Please feel free to ask.
Thank God I wasn't talking that time, Panda. I would mollywop you the next time I'm speaking, and you just don't. Oh! He said enjoy the day and have fun on vacation. Like some people say, scrub the entire bathroom or listen to an off-key singer for 10 hours. Pendo, I've been here. Maybe someone else joined that hasn't said anything yet. Because that's typically what happens. If you have Pando on and you join, but don't say anything, Pando will say that just because. Or if nobody interacts with Pando, he'd be like, I'm an AI assistant, so I don't have any feelings. Okay, bro. Key reason why we didn't interact with you. You know what? You finna make me mad, Pando. So I'm choosing to ignore you. They found a park because I hate the beach. Too bad I also hate parks. Ugh, it's dirty here. They don't know anything. Oh, and then they saw this stupid party and decided to bother some adults by asking what's going on. They think maybe we could be included. It's so moronic. Get it now? That's how my parents are. Annoying and embarrassing. Why would anybody want strangers at their birthday party? Why can't they ever just leave things alone? He huffed loudly. His eyes shot daggers at some grown-ups that presumably were his parents. all you can do is complain about it. Sucks to be you. Clock it! Shut up. Jeremy's eyes slipped from you and take the rest of the park for a bit. It was a little awkward. It was possible he didn't know what to do, but then he spoke again.
So dumb.
How can people really go around these embarrassing party acts? Do they think it's fun or something? How could a human being be so dumb? Jeremy shook his head and glanced at Coves like a peg. Or hat. I guess that's one brain point for you. It's just kind of nice to do at party stuff. Jeremy scoffed, unimpressed. The expression of his face was nasty as he spoke. I'm not surprised an empty-headed person like you would think that. Jeremy looked you over, completely dismissive. It was so rude you couldn't help but feel offended. Cove's face hardened. He seemed more offended than when anyone actually insulted him personally. Just because you don't know how to be happy doesn't mean no one else does. It is not your fault if you hate everything. It's not okay for you to take that on Angel. She isn't doing anything wrong. You are. Jeremy. He seemed unfazed by Cove's defense and sniff. Angel can humiliate herself on her own. She doesn't need you to step in and do it for her. You know what? Hey, listen. I want to swing. And I don't know, punching him in his face. It's so, he insulted me. I'm gonna mad swing on him. I'm gonna get in trouble, but mad swinging on him. You said swing on him. Swing on him. What's that boy? Have you seen that dude on TikTok that's like, my girlfriend should actually get a job. Should I up the switch on him? And he'd be like, your girlfriend told you to get the job. Yeah, let her up! That's the vibe you just gave us. I gotta find, if I clip this, I gotta find the TikTok to put in the background so it would make sense what I'm talking about. That TikTok is so funny. He landed a solid punch in his nose. He shrieked and backed away, clutching his face. He glared furiously at you. You really are crazy. Oh. To be fair, we're kind of ruining the birthday because we're swinging on somebody, but you're a dick. People were staring to watch what was going on. Your argument wasn't exactly quiet at this point. Why don't you just leave us alone if we're so awful? Jeremy glared even more and huffed.
Dumbasses.
Ooh, talking to you is pointless, dumbasses. I'm just glad I swung on him. He stalked off like the last time you watched him, muttering under his breath. Cole sighed in relief after Jeremy was gone. He relaxed, but only for a moment. He noticed just how much attention you'd drawn from the other guests. Luckily, you haven't gone on long enough to get a real crowd. A concerned adult in a blue button-up shirt approached you and asked who that was and was everything all right. I'm fine. Cole looked at you cautiously, asking just as much as the adult if you were okay. It's cool. Not what I would call fun, but I'll live. The concerned adult lingered for a few seconds but nodded and left you alone. The Jeremy fiasco was finally over. Cove rubbed his eyes, clearly ready to put all that nonsense behind him. Then he started laughing. It was a surprised laugh, breaking out of his chest without any actual joy. It was nervous and disbelieving and all the complex emotions brought together by one meeting with Jeremy. I can't believe it. He spoke in fits and started. I can't believe you actually punched him. Oh! What's the song? Swing out. Swing out. That's exactly what happened to us. That's exactly what we did. You swore at him. We ain't ruining this shit if Miranda didn't see. If anything, we're doing this shindig. We're saving this shindig. She says as an Jeremy apologist. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. That got me. Honestly, I think punching him was rightfully so. Because I think I remembered at the beginning of the summer, I punched him then too. So I think he should just learn his lesson and go away permanently. You didn't hear that from me though. You shrugged. He deserved it. You felt a little bad about it. You were still mad at what happened. Punching him was not too much. I'm still mad. You shook your head, trying to calm yourself. Jeremy had really set you off. Cove nodded to himself, then continued speaking. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to do it to me, but it's not like I can blame you. He was treating us so bad for no reason. I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. I bet it won't change anything for him. Do I like his character overall? Yeah. Does he need to be punched once or twice? Also, yeah. I feel like every time I get to punch a character, I feel like I take advantage of that. Because I don't know. Not that I like punching people, but it's always funny seeing the people's reaction when I punch them. I don't know why I said that. I think you're trying to get what I'm saying. Like, punching people isn't cool, but if they deserve it, they deserve it. That's how I'm going to leave that at. Cole paused and shyly twisted his fingers together. The quieter voice, he spoke. He said this is a safe space. I don't fight people, okay? Let me start there. I don't like fighting people. But I would punch somebody if they need to be punched. Listen, that's all I'm going to say. If you say / do something, you're going to get punched and it's going to hurt. Clock it. And if you're bad for doing it, I'm bad too, because I kind of like watching you do it, Angel. He became bashful, barely able to meet your eyes as he smiled shyly, but only because he deserved it. I wouldn't want that to happen to someone out of nowhere or anything. I feel flattered. He thinks the fact that I'm strong is attractive. Do you want to tell your moms about Jeremy, I mean? Are you going to say what you did back at him? They'll probably be nice about it, and maybe they'll know how to handle someone like him. Cole bit his lip and thought. I'm not going to tell them anything if you don't. Thanks for asking. It makes sense to talk to our parents. Because then his parents might find our parents, so it makes sense. I'll let them know everything. Okay. You thought back to your retaliation and winced internally. You're probably going to get in trouble. Not bad trouble, just as long as your moms knew you'd been picked at first. But some trouble. Finally, you bent over to pick up the noisemaker that Cove dropped when Jeremy appeared. It might be too dirty to use now, but you didn't want to leave it here. He accepted it softly when you offered the little favor back at him. Thanks, Angel. I like how we can be there for each other. It makes me feel better about that kind of stuff when it happens. Yeah. Cole suggested that you should find a seat at one of the tables. It was almost cake time and he wanted to be prepared. It was a good reminder that the party wasn't over yet. Damn! How long have we got in this party? We've been here forever. Cake! I think that table works. It's close to the refreshments at least. You and Cole tried to settle down after the last event. You took seats across from one another at one of the park tables. There were a few attempts to chat, but for the most part, you simply watched the adults run around to set up for the cake cutting. There was a minor panic when who you assumed was Miranda's dad apparently forgot the lighter for the candles. He and another man went through and started asking the other adults for matches or lighters. They weren't having any luck until a grim-faced teenager who had been passing out the party hats pulled out a green lighter out of the ice cream cooler. Why the lighter was put in the cooler remains a history, but when the party hat girl finds it, it was time to get things going again. I mean, that girl was smoking mad weed, dude. If it was in the cooler. Miranda sat at the head of the longest table. A dark chocolate cake was set in front of her. She lit all 14 candles with the cooler lighter with a big smile. The adults started singing Happy Birthday, and the rest of the guests joined in. At the end of the song, Miranda blew out the candles with a dedicated huff. She closed her eyes and you saw her silently mouth something. Maybe it was a birthday wish. Miranda cut her own slice, then one of the grown-ups took over cutting the cake. Happy birthday, Miranda! Yeah! Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miranda. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. You know that meme from Sing? Dude, when everyone was bullying Mina, bro, that kind of hurt me. Mina was low-key my favorite character in that movie. Just low-key. Another adult passed around plates of cake slices with a scoop of vanilla ice cream to the guests. Eventually, the cake got around to you and Cove. Cove was most pleased with the treat in general. The cake looked rich and moist. It smelled quite chocolatey. Boy, I'm eating both. Type of rationing this shit? No, I'm eating both of them. You took a bite of ice cream. The vanilla wasn't bad, but it was a little bland. The chocolate cake, however, was a rich flavor. Cove then took his fork and started mashing up some of his cake. When the cake resembled a pile of crummy chunks, he started mixing it into the ice cream. The melted parts of the ice cream made a kind of chocolate cake soup. Dude, I'm doing it now. How does it taste? Really good, but it's better with brownies. He grinned and took a bite of his own mix. Cove contentedly chowed down on his concoction. One advantage to his mix is that the ice cream seemed to catch most of the crumbs that would usually fall from eating the cake. Unlike some of the other kids around him, Cove's shirt remained clean. You started eating your dessert in earnest. You enjoyed yourself plenty. Miranda then started to open her gifts. She systematically attacked the mountain of presents like a pro. She checked for any cards and read them loudly before opening a gift. She smiled at every present, including the ones that you and Cove got her. You were glad the presents were accepted. It took time, but eventually Miranda got through all the gifts. She was very sweet and polite through it all. The party went until the sun began to set. By that point, most of everything had settled down and people had begun to leave. Any of the guests whose parents stayed for the party were already gone, except for Miranda's family. My girl is so loved. She is loved. I think I'm reading too fast. Let me slow down. Because I keep forgetting I'm playing with people watching and not just... Okay, I'll remember to slow down. Only a few kids still waiting for their parents to come and get them remained. You and Cove included. Miranda's family were cleaning up, and as guests, neither you or Cove were supposed to help with that. Instead, you both decided to take it easy in the bouncy castle. It was somewhere out of the way where you could casually wait for your ride. Miranda also elected to hang out with you. You weren't even bouncing anymore. Cove laid on his side with his back to a wall, and Miranda sat across from him with her legs stretched out. You also made yourself comfortable. It was nice and warm in the little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak open here. You're so good. You read at the perfect speed. You're so good. You read at the perfect speed for my brain to keep paying attention. That's good. Sometimes I feel like if I read too fast, then the words jumble up and I can't focus. And sometimes if I read too slow, then I get bored of the sentence itself. So reading at like a medium fast pace. At a medium pace. Okay, no, we're done with the jokes. Okay. It was nice and warm in a little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak openly here. Thanks for coming. She looked down but continued shyly. It's been really cool getting to hang out with you a little bit. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't think I'd be invited. Ooh, I gotta pick an answer. So happy I could come. Miranda just smiled a little more. Did you notice anything happening earlier? Was some people you didn't know showing up? She had to think about his question a little. It was apparent that she didn't have an encounter with Jeremy since there was no instant recognition. I heard about something. Some other parents were talking to my parents when their kid came and forced them to leave the park. She tilted her head to the side, finding it weird but also not important. Then everyone had cake and ice cream. Girl, we clocked this tea. We also punched the tea, so it was both clocked and punched. It was double clocked. Clocked and glocked. Oh! We clocked and glocked this tea. Cole smiled uncomfortably. That's good. Clocked and glocked! He was clearly worried that the Jeremy confrontation would have gotten to her. Luckily, it didn't seem that anyone had overheard or passed along Jeremy's cruel words. Oh, but I hope they passed around mine. Jeremy's a dick! the biggest dick out there. I should have put a headphone warning. My fault. Cole rolled over on his back and sighed contentedly. Miranda seemed confused, but wasn't going to push.
You can pet and play with me at the Pet Cafe. The cafe is available as a Twitch
Oh.
extension. Come join the fun.
Exclamation mark boost? What does that do? Does it boost the stream? I don't think I have commands set up yet, do I? I don't think I do. I'll get them set up for next stream. I didn't even know we could have commands that boosted our stream. Oh well. I guess. I didn't even know that was a thing. Thank you for telling me though. NPC. I'm gonna call you Curie. I'm gonna call you full name. Curious NPC. Yeah. I laid back and closed my eyes to rest. The airfield was... Ooh! Hold on. I gotta mad see this comment, because I don't know if it's a command or not, but Jeremy's a dick deserved that. Lol. I'm dead. Or LMAO. I don't know why they censored LMAO. Oh, I guess because it's ass. I don't know why my chat is censored. It's like, okay, so my content is like 16 plus, so y'all can swear in here. I just don't know why it always censors it, which I will disable that, because why would we need to censor if it's a 16 plus zone? Dead. The air-filled floor was comfy, and when you listened, you could hear the vibrations of the blower keeping the bounce house up. The silence stretched between everyone, and you opened your eyes to take a peek at the others. Cove was still relaxing, but Miranda was looking between you two, confused. You smiled to yourself and closed your eyes once more. You spent the rest of the time content and dozing until it was time to go home. At the end of the day, you thought it had been quite the party. Lord! It was a long-ass one. Jesus Christ. That was fun though. Party was fun. Now here's the thing, okay? Now, I did say we was gonna go in order. Growing birthday, family, summer work, dinner, then escape you. But let me be honest with you. We about an hour. How deep are we? We're about 2 hours into this. And family's a long ass one. Summer work I haven't done before. So we're gonna do summer work and then we're gonna end it there. Next time we play this game, we'll do family, dinner, and escaping. Actually, would it hurt to break the order? Because I forgot what happened in escaping. Summer work is predictable, but escaping, I want to see what happens. No, we're not going to break the order. Or, I don't know. How about I'll leave it up to you guys. See if we're going to break the order or not. Well, so, I'm going to tell a little story. NPC, Curious, Curie, I like them all. Chat's a frequent, so call me by my IRL nickname, Baz. Like, Baz, like, all about that Baz. About that Baz. You probably got that joke like 60 billion times, so I'm gonna shut up. I frequent? Did you spell frequent wrong, or? Whoa. Chats, oh wow, I think that just confused that sentence more for me than it. But you know what? It helped you, so that's the important thing. As long as it got your point across. Oh Lord. I think we're just gonna do summer work and then end stream if summer work's not too long. Alright, let's hit to this. Oh, I done knocked over my whole headset. Okay. You stared out the window, watching the scenery pass by as your mom drove down the quiet street at a leisurely pace. A singer crooned sweetly from the radio, turned low enough so you could block it out if you want. You turned away from the window when your mom suddenly spoke up. Well, kids, are you excited to be going to the library? Yeah, I can't wait to get there. Mom laughed, catching your eye in the rearview mirror and winking. I didn't know why I asked. I already know how you feel about it.
So,
What about you, Cove? You're a part of the conversation too. I can work better there than at home. It's good we're going, I think.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm happy this will be of use to you. Just make sure you're not distracted by one another. That would defeat the purpose of the trip. She grinned over at you briefly, so you knew she was kidding and meant nothing added. Mom refocused on driving, humming along with the radio under her breath. You went back to staring outside. As you passed one street, you caught a glimpse of someone in brightly colored clothing passing out balloon animals. It sparked a faraway memory, and you felt your lips twitching before the constantly remember, before I said that correctly the first time, consciously remembering why. How long ago was it when you and Cove watched the amazing Alexander perform party tricks? Cove, look at that guy out the window. Cove turned his head just a second too late. Who? It doesn't matter. Do you remember the amazing Alexander? Who? He gave us dolphin balloons. Yours popped. You cried? It was a big day. Oh, right. That was a while ago. It was so fun. Cove smiled faintly. It was the first time we ever went down that street together, I think. I missed my balloon. It was a good dolphin for that one afternoon I had him. Yeah. Hey, Cove, what were you going to name your balloon? You never told me. Okay. Lol, nah, I actually haven't heard that before. What my family had called me Basil as a nickname as long as I remember. It eventually shortened to Baz, and I kept it. Okay, original joke. That's me. I forgot what I was gonna say. My original nickname is just a shortened version of my actual name, which I would not airdrop. But when I'm streaming with my friends, they typically call me Angie instead of Angel. Gave me a grandma name, that's for sure. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I can't remember what Kimmy was thinking. Probably something obvious, like Flipper. You couldn't help the way your own smile curled up higher at the sentiment. You wanted to say something else, but couldn't quite think of what. So just Lord have mercy. And so just settle back into your seat. When silence filled the car again, you returned. No!
Commercial break. Hang tight. The
Bro,
stream will be back up shortly.
every time I
Don't go
get
anywhere.
I forgot originally what I was gonna say too. That's what makes me mad. Ew, that's a really ugly emoji. It kind of looks like a robot. I'll look it up later. Banana, banana, banana. Energy in my bones. Got too much energy in my soul. Got too much energy up in the room. Got too much energy, keep in the groove. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah. Oh my god. Who's singing, girl? Pitch Perfect Twitch edition. Okay, wait. Listen, wait. I can explain. I can explain. So I record these for my YouTube account that hosts the VODs, and I forgot that, you guys were gonna come back at some point. So I was just stalling. Mad stalling. Okay. I think because we're almost... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, when I stream, sometimes it cuts the stream off around this time, so I'm impressed that it didn't just, basically stop. So, yay. But I have been going for about 2 hours, so I think once this one ends, I'm gonna call it night so. And then tomorrow, we're gonna play the Now and Forever one, because that sounds awesome. I just gotta figure out where to get the beta. When silence filled the car again, you returned. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on your Pitch Perfect Twitch edition. You work with Angie. She's like 63 years old. Oh my god, it is a sweet name, but it's a really old name. I know somebody that has a mama who's like in her, I want to say about 80s, whose name is Angie, or nickname is Angie. So it's available on there. Oh no, it censored it. It censored the name. I'm dead. Mad gaslighter gatekeepers. That's what it is. Twitch is a gatekeeper. I'm assuming because it's only 3 letters. Oh, itchy. I'm like, oh yeah. It was either, I was assuming that one or their Patreon. That was my assumption. I read the sentence. We're gonna move on. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. You leaned your face to the sunshine, tempted to close your eyes as the gentle rays warmed your cheek. ... Angel? Huh? You lifted your face up a bit more, seeing your mom twisting her torso to face you, confused from the front seat of the car. Next to you, there was nothing. Cove's door was already open. You had reached a destination before you even realized it. I was asking, what time should I pick you two up? Oh, 4 should be okay. That'll at least give you enough time to finish your summer assignments, or at least make a large enough dent. Thanks, Mom. You hopped out of the car, remembering to grab your backpack at the last second. Alright then, have fun you two. We will. You closed the door, giving a little wave. She waved back. You were going to make sure that you understood the material forward and backwards, or else your grades might not be what you need them to be. The two of you went right at the door to the library. Cove reached it first and tugged it open, stepping inside. He kept it propped open so you could pass through behind him. The air was much cooler inside the building than it had been for the few seconds you spent outdoors. The space was filled with soft din of papers being moved in whispered voices. Hey, you seemed kind of distracted on the ride here. Oh, Derek's in this one. I didn't even know. Just enjoying the day. Cove looked dubious at the vague answer. Okay. What? You don't think it's nice out? Sure. Your study buddy was standing in front of the library by a long rack of magazines. Derek! Predictably, he was flipping through one with various sports players on the cover, looking intensely enough to burst off the page. His head snapped when you walked over, beaming lightly. Hey, Angel. Cove. Hi. Were you waiting for a while? Not super long. Derek put the magazine back in its place, and then he gestured to the space at his side. Most of the table were empty, only a few people leafing through books. There's plenty of room. In an unspoken agreement, the three of you started moving towards the seating area. Derek taking 2 steps for every one of Cove's. Ooh, guess what? I'm pretty sure I mastered the fake shot. I'll show you some other time. Derek looked over to gauge the level of interest. Do you know it? Soccer's not really for me. How does it go? Derek's eyes flashed with excitement as he explained. Well, you move the ball like you're going one way, and then he demonstrated by running a few steps ahead, showing off some fancy footwork. You do it like this, so it does like that. You laughed, bobbing your head at his attempt to get the tricks across with no ball. Shh. The three of you looked over to the checked-out desk. The librarian stood behind it and was wearing a deep frown. I'm apologetic. I hate being loud, the librarian. You mouthed sorry and she sighed before turning back to the book she was reading. Derek scratched his cheek, choosing not to let that derail things.
Oops.
So, what are you guys working on? Library lovers rise up! I love the library! I love the library, bro. If anything, I would want to work in the library. If I were to get another job. Because I love the library. Libraries are so fun. I did it as a summer experience. Best summer ever, bro. You can work and then you can check out books of yourself. It's perfect. I love the library. So, what are you guys working on? What weren't you working on? There are some things you've gotten started with. You have yet to start a single assignment, sadly. You have yet to start a single assignment because I didn't feel like it. That's such a mean thing. I'm kind of in between. I would have started it but never finished, and I didn't feel like doing it. You had a few assignments to work on, but you haven't sat down and decided which to focus on this afternoon or anything. You just grabbed all of them and chucked them into your backpack. You figured you could pick when the time came. You got some math problems that need work. The atmosphere was good for studying and you felt motivated to tackle them. There's some summer reading too. I have to go through an assigned book. I'm going to do it later since it doesn't need extra references or anything. What about you two? I got a few worksheets. They look pretty easy, but my school gave us 3 books to read. Can't they just stick with one? I'm going to do a timeline for history. You all found a table close to the tall bookshelves and set up camp. Within seconds, pencils and folders and books were strewn out against the surface. ... I doodled. You have been hard at work, but after some time, your attention began to wander. Before you knew it, you were scribbling on the margins of your paper instead. You were in the middle of attempting a shark with toothy jaws open wide when you felt someone looking at you. You glanced up, seeing Cove looking at your scribbles. Cove's eyes rose to meet yours.
Nice.
It's nice. Are you going to do the rest? Add the second dorsal fin? He pointed to a spot on the unfinished shark. You do. They're more social worker type responsibilities than people expect, but it's so filling. I love serving my community. Y'all, hands down, working at places like the library or working at places like that really helps your community more than you think. I didn't think that libraries were that important until I personally worked at a library. And let me tell you, working at a library and being the person in the library is so much different. It's a real eye-opener. You gotta work somewhere that's like social worker type. Opens your eyes to reality, you know? Loved it though. I miss my library job. Oh my god. He pointed out to a spot on the unfinished shark. Yeah, thanks. You pushed forward with your scribbly creation. ... After some time, Cove shifted in his seat, twisting his back as trying to work knots out of it. Cove? More like cave. Cove ceased wiggling in his seat, but his puzzled expression told you that your wordplay had sailed over his head. Derek snickered at the exchange. Because you're going to cave on doing your homework. My mistake. You're a comedic genius. I'm going to stretch my legs.
Talk to you later.
See you. I'm gonna stay here. I'm making good progress. I'm gonna join him. Actually, you know what? I'm going to join him the first time and then run it back and then see what happens if I stay. You might as well take the opportunity to refresh yourself before getting back to work. The two of you strolled away from where you've been working. Your eyes roamed over the titles of the books as you passed by. Some were dull, some intriguing, and others were just strange. But you didn't spot anything that made you pause and pick it up. Looking for something? The reading assignment is more than enough. Always no, but something might catch my eye. You never know. I might go out of here if there's enough time. His comment reminded you of the clock ticking away. Even after you finish your work for the summer, the countdown for the new school year will still be on track. Before you know it, we'll be back at class. Yeah, we just got out and it's almost here again. Are you looking forward to going back? Cove rubbed his arm, drawing your attention to the scar he earned as a reckless kid, with his far-off gaze. Not really. I don't want summer to end. I wish everything wasn't always decided for me. I want to grow up already. Cove didn't feel safe knowing that it was others who really determined what his life was like. You understood that much. I touched him softly. Instinctively, you reached out to him. Your thumb stroked the back of his hand in a way that you hoped was comforting. But there's a chance we could end up in the same classes. That would be nice. You nodded, glad that he was cheering up some. Trust Cove to look on the bright side. That would be great. A smile spread across his face, crinkling his eyes. So, what about you? You want to go back to school already? I don't like school. I don't want the summer to stay. It made you stressed just thinking about it. Cove nodded, obviously getting where you're coming from. There was no really going away from the topic of school right now. It prompted you to think back to the classes you were in. You pursed your lips. I love art. So I said art classes. It wasn't mandatory at your school, but you definitely hoped to participate. Yep, that was it. I really only liked the art classes. Each lost in your thoughts, you continued to stroll through the library for a little while longer until Cole caught your attention again. We should probably head back. Yeah, we don't want him sending a search party. Before you could take a step back, Cole cleared his throat, avoiding your gaze. Thanks for listening before. Anytime. Cole smiled, his cheeks pink. You jerked your head towards where Derek was been left studying. Time to get back to work. Cole and you rejoined with Derek and settled back in as quietly as you can manage. Work continued as normal from there. ... The sound of shuffling dragged you out of your head. You looked up surprised to see Derek packing up. You're done? Derek casually shrugged, but you could tell he felt proud to be the first finished. Uh-huh. Told you it wasn't anything hard. What are you going to do now? You wondered how Derek was going to spend his newfound freedom. Maybe. I can look over what you're doing. Maybe I got some tips that'll help. That'd be great. Thanks.
I got you.
Gotcha. With a smile, Derek leaned over your part of the table. He took some time to get the gist and point you in the right direction before turning it back over to you. Derek leaned on the back of his feet. Okay, I'm gonna look around when you guys finish. See you. Bye. See you. ... Later on, Cove shifted in his seat, closing his book as he looked over the notes he's been taking. Glancing away, you contemplated what you had done thus far. Hey, just because we're gonna lie a little, let's just lie and say I finished most of them. But we all know if this was real life Angel, I would have gotten no work done or half of it done. You were pleased with what you had accomplished. Next time you could focus on what you had left. Derek's advice made it easier in the end. Are you almost ready? Are you ready? It's almost 4. Yeah, I think so. Come on. The both of you gathered up your books, and after returning the ones you've used for reference to the proper shelves, set off to find wherever Derek had wandered off to. He was in the biography section. His back was to the two of you, one hand above his head and the other supporting himself against a shelf as he strained to grab one of the books. Hey Derek, we're ready.
Yay.
Oh, okay. He glanced towards the sound of your voice and up towards the shelf he was trying to reach. There was a struggle you knew all too well. You need help with that? Cole No, Derek frowned, eyes flickering the cove just for a second before shifting to the floor. Yeah, thanks. Which one? Derek directed Derek directed Cove towards the book he wanted. It was an autobiography for someone you never heard of before. ... And then the three of you moved to the front of the library to wait for your rides. Time for me to go. Happy to have been here. I'll try to catch Now and Forever tomorrow. Well, wherever you go, whatever you do, be safe, have fun, and rest up well, and drink some water. Because I haven't drunk any, and I'm not taking the advice I've given myself, but I will soon. Have fun. Bye-bye. You stood too close to the window and let out a content sigh, feeling the rays of the warm you from the slightly chilly weather interior. Got any plans after this? Gonna work on my technique. Can't get rusty while school's out. My answer was inevitable. Technique for what? Soccer. What about you two? The word you two echoed in your mind. You knew what Derek meant, but why it was bringing a smile to your face to be linked with Cove, even the most tenuous circumstances. Nothing planned. Me neither. Ooh, that's my dad's scar. Derek lifted a hand to wave, pushing the door open and heading towards the blue pickup truck waiting in the parking lot.
Talk to you later.
See ya, Angel. Bye, Cove. You watched Derek jog off before scanning the area for your mom. Did you get anything done? Almost. I saw you're basically done. He smiled, impressed. You felt good about that. I feel like I need to come back to the library again before summer's over. I'll come with you. I still have those books to read anyway. You better. I'm not going alone. He chuckled. Let's do something when we get back. Maybe the beach? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He was always easy to please that way. The two of you smiled at each other. Cove looked away after a second, and so did you, fidgeting with the hems of your shirt. It wasn't long before you spied your mom's car coming down the road. There she is. Time to go then. You climbed into the car, sliding into your usual seats and buckling the belts. Hey, kiddos, did you get a lot done? Yeah. Nice. The car shifted into action, and you watched as the library shrunk into the distance. It wouldn't have been the last time you saw it this summer. Even better, you were going to have good company with you. You were already counting the days. You chatted easily with Mom about the day while you juggled a conversation with Code. When she learned you two were planning on returning, she immediately offered to give you a ride next time. You continued to answer Mom's questions about what you've been working on, then told her about the plans to stick with Cove after getting back. There was something knowing in her smile that made you pause, just for a moment. But soon enough, the trip was over. You had headed back to your neighborhood. Cove had ran over to his house real quick to drop off his stuff. You also made a pit stop to put your backpack away before heading out again. The two of you regrouped in the middle of the road, halfway between your houses. With everything wrapped up, you can now freely enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Your conversation resumed as you began walking down the street together. The afternoon came and went. Dinner was eaten, and you were cleaning up the dishes left behind from it. Cove had elected to stay for the meal today. He passed you a couple plates to rinse in the sink. Even though he didn't have to, Cove asked to do at least something to help. You scrubbed the last of them and then left out a satisfied sigh. Okay, they're done. I'm going upstairs now. You addressed your guests for the evening. You want to come? Yeah, I don't think I have to go back till later. Take it easy, kids. Thank you for the help. When you got back to your room, you noticed your backpack from earlier. You figured it would be best to unpack the stuff you needed before going to bed. Cove plopped into your desk chair, spun around it as he got comfortable. He watched you contently as you walked across the room. He didn't need or expect you to try to entertain him constantly. It was just nice to be near each other, even when nothing was going on. You hefted your bag up onto the bed. It sunk into the comforter. With that, you started to sort through books and paper packets. Not all of it were things you needed anytime soon. A small pile of the most important assets began to grow at the side of your backpack until you'd gone over all of it. You had actually finished flipping through the contents, but that wasn't all of your work. You instinctively pulled the opening closer to you and peered inside. A second look through commenced, and then a third, then you began to open the smaller packets. You were missing your math assignment. Angel? By this point, Cove could tell something was wrong. That part of your summer work that you have gone done, and now it was gone. It hadn't been that noteworthy before, but the bag wasn't really zipped when you first began to look through it. The work could have fallen out somewhere, if you had it in the first place. I felt paralyzed. How could this happen? What were you going to do now? My math homework isn't in my backpack. At your word, Cove jumped out of his seat. Oh crap! Is there somewhere we can look? The bag was kind of open, so... Ooh, he winced sympathetically. That left a lot of options for where it might be, most of them bad. You made a sudden bolt for the other side of your room. You started to scour the spot your backpack was originally in. With nothing in sight, you expanded the search to the rest of the space. Cove did his best to stay out of your way while keeping an eye open for your missing work. It was a frantic and ultimately fruitless effort. Your assignment wasn't here. Yad! Let's check downstairs. It still might be in your house somewhere. Fine.
How are you?
Why, hello. Why, hello again. Is everything alright? He gave a rambling explanation of the situation. No, it was. I did it, but when I was getting it out, it wasn't there. And then, I don't know. What? My schoolwork is missing. This was definitely getting to you. You had things you wanted to do that you need to do, and instead you have to worry about this. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. What's missing? An assignment for school from the library today. Mom's eyebrows raised with concern at the answer. That's a pickle. I'll call right now. I think they might still be open. Thanks, Mom. You're welcome. Just leave it to me. Cove, honey, can you tell us if there was anything you noticed? You were with Angel, right? I saw the assignment when Angel had it out at the library. I don't remember her putting it away, but I'm pretty positive there was nothing left on the table when we were done. He spoke resolutely. Before now, he hasn't considered that something might have been left behind. You have felt the same when leaving, though it was hard not to second-guess things now. Your mom re-entered the scene a few minutes later. The look on her face was not promising. So I got a hold of one of the librarians. They don't have any papers with your name on it. Not that they could see anyway. I'm sorry. I groaned in frustration. Oh, honey, we'll figure this out. Angel, hey, let's go over to my house. I can check my bag. Maybe I took it when we were packing up and didn't notice. Good idea. You got the impression that this just wasn't about another place to look. You were stressed out over the situation here. He was trying to give you an out. Let's go. Cove nodded and made his way to the door. Your mom stood by with creased eyebrows. Take care, kids. Good luck. Bye, moms. You briskly made the trip over to cross the street. In less than a minute, you were going to the threshold of Cove's house. Cove has been in the rush earlier today, too. His backpack was tossed on the couch without a thought. No one has moved since. You can sit down or anything. I'm gonna look. He lifted the backpack and unzipped it in a fluid motion. You were left to wait as he rooted around with an unexpected level of seriousness. There was no way you could relax now. You leaned closer, trying to get a peek into what he was seeing. Every second of not knowing made you more intense. Your impatience did not go unnoticed. He tore through the contents rapidly, until Cole's eyes drifted from the opening of the bag and traced the length of the room's floor. God, I can't speak. His arm was still stuck away inside, but the search was over. Your heart sank. It was obvious that there wasn't much of a chance Cove somehow had it this whole time. Still, you wanted hope. Finally, Cove lowered his backpack onto the floor while slipping his arm out, and he wasn't empty-handed. Cove extended a few papers your way. Here. Your eyes flickered down at the assignment and right back up at his face. That's your copy. In an almost silent room, you could hear the slight crinkling of the paper as he gripped tighter. His expression was just as firm. No, it's yours. It's cheating. Cheating is when somebody tries to get out of doing something they were supposed to do. You did the work. It isn't fair that you might not get credit for it. That assignment and grades, they're important to you, and, you're important to me, so... He flatly dropped the papers at your feet, refusing to meet your eyes. I think I did pretty good with it. The marks shouldn't be bad. I hugged him. Without a second thought, you threw your arms over his shoulders. The papers scattered. After a second of stunned motionless, Cove returned the gesture and wrapped himself around you. I got teary-eyed. It was too much, and tear droplets began to sting your eyes. Please don't cry, Angel. He didn't let you go as he began to speak again. Missing an assignment is something that doesn't bother me. I mean, you know me long enough to see what does upset me. The statement had started out lighthearted, but then it quickly shifted to one much more serious. You were always there. He leaned his head into you affectionately. It made your heart pound against your chest. Then the moment was interrupted by the piercing ring of the Holden home phone. You wordlessly stared at one another with raised brows. Cove's mouth formed a tiny frown. Kira appeared from the hall on the far side of the living room, summoned by the noise. Cove robotically took his hands off you, pinning them securely against his sides instead. You don't know if she noticed or cared, but he was embarrassed. Hey, Cove. Hi, Angel. Didn't know you were here. She strolled on past. Your eyes followed her. Cove's mom answered the call, always giving a chirpier greeting to whoever was on the other line. A few ahas and ahums later, Kira thanked the person and placed the phone down once more. Angel, that was your mom. She said your stuff was in the car. What? Really? That's what I was told. Now just return to the guest room. You can have your privacy. Cove's face cycled from shock to sour as his mom made her escape, laughing. He took... Oh, Jesus. The reading is getting me, bro. It's getting to me, bro. He shook the interruption off and refocused on you. They've got it. I was so embarrassed. It was just in the car? That was humiliating. You were left speechless. They've got it. Cove smiled quickly and shrugged one shoulder. We should probably head to your house. Your moms might want to talk to you. Yeah, my parents really care about me. They had kept searching even after you left, and because of that, it all worked out. Cove nodded in agreement. Hey, Cove, thanks for being here. He brightened up with sparkling eyes. Anytime, Angel. While stepping towards the door together, there was a thought in your head that you knew to be true. You was going to be there for one another, and when it came to the big things, and with the small things. Whew, Lord! Okay, I'm not even going to push forward. No, it's okay. Let's just go ahead and make a little savey save. Christ on the stick. Stream. I love you guys. I really do. I'm so glad that we got the chance to hang out with each other today. Even if stream was ideally longer than it should have been, and I've been sitting in this chair for ideally longer than I want to, I always have fun hanging out with you guys, and I hope you guys always have fun hanging out with me. So, I love you all, truly and dearly. I hope you all have a fantastic evening, afternoon, or morning, whatever time it is for you. And I will catch you guys, zoom out, on the flip side. Peace. Bye-bye. Oh, we're saying bye. Good night. Goodbye.